All right. Okay, I don't know what that meant. Anyway, that message was weird. I'll worry about that later. Okay, so you are. So let's just remind ourselves where we are. We're on the coast. We were on a little jolly boat type thing. We rowed in. We could hear the tolling of bells.
It wasn't jolly.
It wasn't jolly. It was pretty rocky, actually. You got to the thing. You got above, onto the bluff above the beach, and you had a big owl fly over your head, and you thought you heard noises. You could see light coming from within the forest, but you could also see light to the north of you, which is where you decided to go. So you went north to the town, and while at the town, you encountered various interesting people in an inn. You were offered various interesting clothing. You met a priest. You met the innkeeper. There was a moment right at the beginning where you started to talk to them, and they spoke in a language you mostly didn't recognize. However, within a sentence of that kicking off, you were talking completely normally to them. So it was all just a bit weird. You got some changes of clothes, and you went to sleep. And you have now woken up standing on the bluff above the beach. And the owl, the same owl, has just flown over your head, saying, "That's a bit odd then."
Just like it did before. Yeah.
And that's where we had left it. So we are now in part 2 of Amaranthine Dream in Nameless Horrors. And the question for all of you is, what would you like to do?
It's too late to get back on the boat, I take it. So not the way.
You cannot see the boat.
It left.
Can we see anything across the ocean?
Can you see anything across the ocean? Ooh. That's a good question. That's a very good question. Well, Georgiana Wentworth, how would you like to make is there like an equivalent of scan? It's not really spot hidden.
Maybe?
Spot hidden, yep. Spot hidden. Yeah, I was looking for if there was one where you look for long periods and one where you look for short. But no, spot hidden. Could you make a spot hidden roll for me, please?
That looks like failure.
That looks pretty bad. It's very dark across the water. It's a very dark night. Actually, hold on. That's not right. It's not a dark night, is it? Hold on. That is actually wrong. I'm pretty sure that's wrong. What does it say about the thing? Actually, no. You know what? I think it's a really good question, and I don't think it should fall just because you rolled a bad dice roll. So you look out across the ocean, and you realize it's like all dark. So there's no light reflecting off the water past the edge of sort of the water. So you came in, you did the usual thing. The waves were a bit rocky, and of course you've got the sort of white cap of the waves kind of thing, which are reflecting light from the moon and other places. If you look hard at the ocean, and you're looking hard, about, give or take, a kilometer, maybe less out, that all disappears. It's like it's just shadow. There's no reflecting light from the water, no sense of it.
Would we normally be able to see the mainland? If things were kind of normal, do you think? Does anyone know? The general question: can you see the mainland from the coast of England in the daytime?
Very good question. It's not daytime; it is nighttime.
Oh, sorry. Okay, well, that's not so much.
So the likelihood is no.
Okay, so I'll save my freak out until later on then.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
can I ask?
It's very strange.
Oh no, you go, Jess.
Oh, no, it's just saying it's very strange to have light and reflection in normal ocean water, and then suddenly there's a stop, and it's just black.
Yes. So it's up to Georgiana whether they're calling this out to the rest of the group.
Well, I think she probably will.
Oh, you can make a natural world roll. Actually, I've just realised
Okay.
natural world is the perfect skill to marry with this perception check.
That's also a failure, unfortunately.
That one I'm not going to give you for free. Okay. All right. Eliza. Oh, Eliza. What
Yeah.
was it?
I was gonna ask. So we've kind of woken up on the beach, right?
Above the beach, even. You're
So,
actually
yeah.
standing on the bluff.
Right.
So you haven't woken up. You are standing on the bluff. It's like you've snapped out of a dream, right? And you're now standing on the bluff. You didn't get up. You don't have any sense of sort of getting off the ground or any of that. You're just here.
Are we
Right.
wearing, what clothing are we wearing? Are
Yeah.
we wearing our original clothing, or are we wearing the clothing that they gave us?
Am I scantily clad? Is the question.
Please no.
Good question. As we've discussed, though, you may not have been. What you're now wearing may not be scantily clad, but
The Lord did not
is
create
it
you in
different?
his image.
No, you're wearing the clothes you started in.
Okay. All right. So, and I have no memory of changing my clothes back to my old.
None whatsoever.
Right. So I don't think that Eliza necessarily says anything, but I think that she just recognizes that because it's going from being like hoisted in to being incredibly kind of loose clothing.
Yep.
And I think that kind of worries her in a way. Do we have our possessions with us or just our clothes?
You have the possessions you had when you came off the boat.
Cool. Okay, great. She's just like clutching her manuscript because I was like, have they stolen it? Is it a magic item? I don't know. Cool.
So I've got my big bag and the shreds of my sanity. I don't have much sanity to start with, so
No. As we discussed, you may need to have a secondary character ready to go at any point. All right.
Well,
rattled.
how about we? So is that fire happening up on the?
Yeah. So same scene. So the owl flew over your head, heading towards the forest. There's obviously a bright light coming from the forest. There's also the beckoning lights of the town.
Okay. I thought we should see if the chaps around the fire will let me make a cup of tea. And I start to head off up towards the fire.
Okay, so you're heading towards the forest.
Yeah.
Okay, Reginald, what were you going to say?
Well, I could use a spot of tea. Shaking
Reginald,
the green leafy.
The rector is
The tea's perfectly fine. I bought it myself.
That's not what I meant.
Oh, come down, Viscountess. There isn't time for that.
Gentle people, are we not going to discuss the fact that we were there, and I point to the village, and now we are here again? And that bird, are we not going to talk about the bird? Nothing?
Well,
no?
I think not, because I'd rather not imagine that it actually happened.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Oh, a wise course of action, my dear. Please lead on to this brown water that you mean.
Well, and as they're walking, I think Eliza says, well, I do believe that that imagination is the word. Perhaps we're all experiencing some sort of weird. This could be a dream, or we could have woken up and we've been so tired and exhausted from the journey that we simply walked out. There's nothing to say that anything untoward's happening.
Did we offend the
just had a very
locals?
long
Did they
sleep.
Eliza, do you want to make a
get
reassure
us drunk
roll
and then
for
put
me?
us in our old clothes again out here?
Yes, I can make a reassure roll.
That is not normally the purpose when getting drunk, from where I stand, your worshipfulness.
The fact that
No
you stand while you're
failure.
getting drunk means you're not doing it properly.
It's not really your core skill set, but I was just asking.
If I were French, I would take exception to that. The French.
When you're Belge.
That is right. That is right.
Right.
All right. So, none of you really buy into Eliza's argument, which is well put, or at least you can choose whether you did, but it didn't have any actual reassuring effect on any of you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And I also think that part of Eliza, seeing that no one's really buying it, becomes a little bit more afraid herself because
Yeah.
I like as a player, my thought is, well, does that owl actually have a human face? And that would be fucked.
Yeah.
So
And
that's
what did the owl
terrifying.
say again? I'm sorry, I've forgotten. What did it say?
That's a bit odd.
That's
That's a bit odd then.
That's a bit odd then.
Just checking two things. Firstly, are Eliza's clothes still like all soaked from being dropped in the sea?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And
Right.
the other thing was more just checking. I think that Eliza was the only one that actually changed clothes. Is that correct?
No,
Yeah.
I think I got some local clothes. I asked for some.
Oh.
That.
We certainly were
Okay,
given them.
no, so Reginald may have changed clothes as well, but irrespective, Reginald's back in his sort of late high French fashion. He's a bit out of date, but it's there.
Yeah.
It would have been expensive and high fashion at some point in the
At
past.
some point.
Yeah. All right, so are you all following the rector who is forging their way over the open ground? All right, so you're heading into the forest.
Oh man, that was terrible.
So you can all make listen rolls for me, please, as you approach the fire.
Listen.
Yes. I'm intently looking, sounding out, hearing voices, hopefully.
Okay. Oh, Eliza got it, and Rector Cedric got it. Well, that kind of makes some sense.
Yeah.
Okay. You can hear Eliza and Cedric. You can both hear people singing or chanting.
Ooh. Is there any songs that I know?
It's no, it isn't.
Oh, okay. Can we at least understand the words?
You can make an attempt to understand the words.
Am I using my English or the other language, the Latin?
You can make a Latin roll for me.
Yeah. It's all gibberish.
It's all gibberish. Okay. You come out onto the small fire. It's not actually a big fire. It's just pretty dark. So light shows up pretty well at the moment. There are two women and a man. They appear to be it's anywhere between 20s and 30s. You can see one of the women, the shorter of the group, has the owl on their arm. Now, can I get everyone to make a? It's going to be another. Actually, spot hidden rolls again, please, for everyone. Wow. Okay, Eliza. Wow, you're on fire, Eliza.
Oh, everybody rolled. Wow. Okay.
Eliza, you were obviously paying attention to the owl when it flew over your head. It was a big owl, right? Like, you have this really distinct memory. Big freaking owl came over my head. This is the owl on her arm is like the size of a small barn owl. Like it's a little cutesy, the little barn owls are really cute. That sort of sized owl.
That's a bit odd.
That's a bit odd then.
You know what? Like as we're kind of walking like to them, and I kind of spy that small owl. I think
Yeah.
I can't help but say that's a bit odd. Then,
Oh,
um, does that do anything? Does it register that?
it looks at you
Oh,
like it twists its head towards you. At that moment, it sort of twists its head back to Claire, and does a little chittering noise, like a little owly chittering noise, and she looks at it for a second and goes, "Meta?" And she's saying something, but it's not in English. But anyway, you've walked out, you've found them, they're around a small fire, they're wearing outdoor clothing, they've got furs and other things on. They're not wearing coats, they're wearing explicitly furs and like heavy, like coat hardies and kirtles and other things. So they're wearing heavy duty clothing, but from the period. It's the woman with the owl on her arm who addresses you first. Who are you?
I would look to the rector.
Yes, I'm also looking to the rector.
As we push him to the front.
Yes. Hello. My name is Rector Cedric Postleplate. We are here having landed on the beach recently, and we saw your fire, and I've got some lovely tea that we could brew up and have a bit of a chat, if you'll permit us. It's really a beautiful spot you've got here, and what a gorgeous owl. Is that it looks like a common barnyard, but it seems to be a bit more alert. Beautiful creature, God's creatures. I start to move to sort of settle down somewhere. Okay. Oh, my old bones. Oh.
Hey, Cedric, do you want to make a natural world roll? You might be shit at it, but do you want to make
that natural philosophy or?
No, that's natural world. It's the other one.
Oh, okay. I don't have that on my list, I don't think.
You'll have it. It'll just be something you're really crap at.
Yeah.
Or something, isn't it?
Your skills are ordered really differently. Why are your skills
all right,
ordered?
Well, let me confuse you then.
Oh, hold on. Let me... Yeah. Oh, we both did it at the same time. There we go. That's better. Natural philosophy. No, you don't have natural world. Okay, I don't quite know how that happened, because you should have some natural world skill, because everyone has at least a few points in it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. Anyway, I will sort that out right now while I'm thinking about it. Natural.
I also don't have natural world.
Yeah. You should all have it at 10%. There you go.
Yeah.
Right. It's now on your character sheet.
Woohoo!
Cedric.
Let's go. Natural world. Looking for that one.
For
no.
No.
Right, the opposite. So yes, I do try and settle in. Best I can.
All right. Yep. No worries. Wow, lots of failed rolls today. Okay, so yep, it's just a barn owl. That's what it is. Clearly, it's a friendly little local barn owl.
Can I ask? Can we all roll natural world since we're actually seeing the owl?
Sure. Yeah. Why not?
We all have 10%.
Some of you have more. Some of you are actually experienced natural worlders.
No, surely not.
No,
it's an owl. You guys aren't paying a lot of attention to the local owl populations, clearly, of your home counties. All right, so you plonked yourself down. She goes, no. So you've identified yourself as a priest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they all instantly look pretty sus at you. You can all make psychology rolls, I think it is.
Okay, great.
Psychology. Yep, it's psychology. Throw some skills out there, people. Let's get those skills rolling. Oh!
Wow.
I've only got 2% in it.
And now you've got
very
more
good.
Than, and we had a
moment of insight into them.
No, that's beautiful. Okay, so Reginald and Georgiana, Villiers, that is, both got their psychology checks in. Rector, you haven't rolled one.
Oh, no. Okay, well, I'm probably going to be completely oblivious, but here we go.
And neither is Reginald.
Yeah,
Reginald.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Look at that.
you're whatever.
So I'm
Everyone loves the
focused on the
Rector.
tea.
Everyone loves the Rector. That's what we understand.
He's a
from the
charming
story.
lad.
Yeah.
The people who don't. Okay. Reginald Duplessis.
Yeah.
As soon as he identified that he was a priest, you could tell they kind of went from who are these weird people we've run into in the forest to, yeah, that guy, we don't like that guy at all. Like, there was an instant, the moment he identified himself as a priest, there was a absolute chilling in their faces, in their appearance, and the way they all sort of clustered back a bit from him almost.
Okay.
Well, and they're very, very keen to move on.
As he's a little bit unaware of that, and we've obviously wedged him in the front, I'm just going to whisper very quiet to everyone else. There is something remiss here. They do not like the men of God. There is something a little bit strange about these people. Please be alert and be prepared. I don't know. That's about all the time I would imagine I would have. But then I would imagine if there's three of them, we should probably spread out so that we make a larger front, if that makes any sense. If we're going to sit
sure.
I make quite a large front all by myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
So all of you sort of
me.
spread out this big semicircle.
Yeah.
Yes,
Just
it's
sort
all
of
warm yourselves by the fire. That's it. Spread out and
a little bit of if they're already unnerved, then maybe it might help to intimidate them a little bit more or something. They'll leave us alone.
Is there
Okay.
any water that we could borrow for this in a pot? It's going to be. You won't regret it.
Make a persuade roll.
Some of the Lord's greatest leaf is here.
Come on.
No, not on 10%ers.
The
My
devil's
thing
letter.
is being a charming old man, not persuading.
And they're
people.
not seeing the charm.
No, they're not.
They look at each other for a moment, and they all step actually back from the fire. So they step away from all of you.
Yeah.
And you see the woman with the owl who went to introduce herself, and then you said you were a rector, and then she shut down. She's like holding her hand pointed at you, kind of the way someone would point a gun. Like she's holding a hand out like this, literally doing this towards you.
Okay. At this point, I think my friends, Rector, I think maybe we should leave these people to their own devices. Huh? Shall we make haste? Shall we leave? Shall we depart?
I'm not getting good vibe from them. They're not very hospitable.
Pardon for the intrusion. We would be taking our leave now, and kind of literally grabbing him and trying to drag him off a little bit, I think.
Okay,
But you reckon we should take our time and go to town?
So Reginald is grabbing the rector and pulling him away. What are the rest of you doing?
Following.
I think that not to throw a spanner in the works, but I think that Eliza's incredibly interested in these people now because they've kind of like shown that they're in a way counterculture. So like, I mean, she's never really seen. She's never really seen people in polite society put out their hand to kind of like create distance between themselves and clergymen. And so she's kind of wondering whether or not, are these shamans, are these pagans? Like, is that what this bonfire is for? Is this a druidic practice? So I think that that she kind of, walks a little, like maybe like, a third of the distance between them and everyone else, like not too close, but just says, I was so intrigued by this bonfire that you have here. I've heard yon tales of yore, where shamans and druidic priestesses, have rituals in the moonlight and what have you. Not all of us have to. We don't all don the cloth. So interested in other cultures or local folklore and legends. We're definitely not here to hurt you at all.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm waving goodbye the same way she waved to me.
All right, so you've stepped up and are giving this whole speech about I'm
Yeah.
interested in countercultures, and
Yeah,
we don't
yeah.
all have to follow people of the cloth.
Yeah.
It's just the way you're delivering the message would be very weird for them.
Absolutely.
Lily,
1000%.
Lily, what were you going to do? I will respond in a second, Jay. Lily.
Yeah, all good.
I think that Georgiana is still quite confused by this whole situation.
Yeah.
So she's just going to go back to her usual role as, the shy relative, and she's just going to be sort of near Viscountess Purbeck, sort of attending her and probably subtly trying to hurry her off, along with Reginald Duplessis and the rector who he is dragging. She thinks that this is possibly not the safest situation, agreeing with Mr. Duplessis.
Okay, so you guys are all pulling away. Eliza sort of, in a sense, kind of steps forward and goes, I want to talk to you, and then throws this whole thing about, we don't have to follow the people of the cloth. I'm really interested in other cultures and Druidic practice and all these other things. Make a fast talk roll. I think it's more than a persuade roll. I'm going with my gut on this, but that's what it kind of feels like.
Fair enough. I was angling for a persuade, but I'm happy to go fast talk. Probably going to be a failure, but you know what? That moves the story forward. Failure. 5%. So tell me how
you
fucked
throw
it is.
and the reason it's I'll explain why it's fast talk rather than persuade. Yeah. You're using lots of language that if you were surrounded by people who had just an interest in other things, they'd talk this way, right? But you're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. So this is a place where people get burnt at the stake for talking about the things you're talking about.
Oh shit.
So they're like going, who the fuck are you? So they
she about to get stabbed.
So she looks at you and goes, you are clearly some spy working for the church, and waves her hand at you like this for a second.
Wave back.
It's and you all see this happen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, Viscountess Purbeck is not standing for this. Not standing for someone shouting at a very young woman.
It's not the shouting. It's not
Is it a power roll, Keeper?
However did you guess?
Yeah.
Let me just. I'm just trying to find it. Where is it? Must be under the character.
Thank you.
It's not Mind Blast, is it?
No.
That would be wild. Okay, good.
Oh, okay.
Honestly,
actually, you know what? Yep, no.
I am actually. I'm not afraid to roll a new character if because spells in Cthulhu are insanely powerful. So
it's all good. It's all good.
A good torturer never kills his victims.
Two hands. She waves to. She points her hand at you, and then you see what she's got. Another hand is like a small blade, like a dagger or something. Like well, not even a dagger. It's a knife. It's like a small knife. She kind of does. She was waving a hand at you in this threatening way. She pulls her hand back. She rips it across the knife and just sprays her hand in your general direction. And little droplets of blood come from her hand and land on you. You can see she's also flicking it at the priest. So she's like flicking this blood at the priest. And then she screams this. She holds her other hand in the air and screams out this single word that none of you understand. There is a crack of lightning across the sky, like you are right underneath a thunderous explosion, and both of you, that is the Rector and Eliza. I didn't turn it on. I'm gonna have to turn it on. Hold on, give me 1 sec, just so I can put it in. Is it manage modules? Yeah, it's going to be manage modules. Where is not? Oh wow, I don't have Dice So Nice turned on. Should turn on Dice So Nice. I'm thinking of Dice Tray. There it is. Hello. This might bounce you out of the online, the virtual environment. So apologies if it does. But I need things that I don't currently have access to, so I need to put them back on.
Everything's going black.
Hopefully you'll all be back in a sec. Okay. Cool. Oh, wow. Eliza, you take 2 hit points of damage.
Oh, wow.
Lowest roll I could have done.
Oh,
Cedric, you take 12.
Oh, shit.
12 hit points.
12 hit points.
Well, that takes me out of the running. I've only got 10.
Wait. You rolled 3d6, is that right? For
him?
Okay.
Yeah.
She really doesn't like me as a man of cloth, I suspect.
Now, is that insta-kill? I think it's insta-kill, isn't it?
You got a con roll or something? If it's
there's
more than half?
there's a
I think it might be.
Chart. There's a flow chart.
Well, let's put it this way. I haven't had a chance to actually roll anything to stop it.
No, you haven't.
And all I wanted was a cup of tea.
All you were asking for was such an innocent ask. And then it got real. Shit got nasty.
So, Rector, how many hit points did you have?
10.
The combat damage flowchart says death on page 122.
Oh, I haven't read 122, and I probably won't have a chance.
Which I think is wild. The first time I DM'd, that happened to me, and I allowed someone to have a con roll because I felt it was unfair. But it's keepers rules.
Okay.
That's in the famous words of the hour. That's a bit odd, then.
Maybe your new character can be the owl.
No, I suspect probably not.
Character takes damage more than maximum hit points. Okay. All right. No. Rector dies.
Okay.
Mon Dieu.
So you see him, what happens is 1,000 cuts open up over his body and the blood just kind of flies out from his body in this great cloud, and then he collapses to the ground. And when the blood has flown out, he was already old and desiccated looking, so it's less effective. It's less fun. If it was a young person, you'd see them wither as a result of the blood loss, but he doesn't wither really. He's already kind of there.
More color in him.
Yeah,
he looks a bit healthier just before he dies.
Cadaver-like, yeah. So his cheeks sink in and he flops to the ground. And the woman, you've taken, and her words to you as this has occurred, she shouted these words. She points at you and she goes, "You've taken Sarah, you goddamn papists," or not papists, God-loving types. The old ways will call upon you and crawl you back into the earth where you belong. And she's like frothing, and the other two are going, "What have you done? Are you mad?" They're like, okay, so what do the people who are not dead want to do?
Can I just ask? And I will actually start by saying I'm so sorry I killed your character, Rob. I feel personally.
Oh, by the way, could everyone make a sanity roll?
No,
Is that okay? If I could I get a sanity roll right now?
Sanity roll. Just click sanity and then.
Yes. I'm getting ready for my critical fail.
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 I do not blame you for killing my character.
I'm
It's
glad.
not a problem.
I'm glad.
Oh my god, I made it.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Everyone who made it loses 1 sanity point.
Oh, my
People
death
who
and only one.
No, people who failed lose a d6.
Oh,
Shit.
You've never seen magic before.
Right.
It's like
That was
you've just
one
been-
sanity point.
Yes, you lose 1 sanity point if you made the roll, and you lose a d6 if you made it.
so do we just click on the D6 on the bottom there?
Yep, that'll roll it for you.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's what I turned on was the dice tray, so we could actually have dice.
The
I also
irony is,
turned on dice so nice.
I think I'm the only one that has occult anyway. To tell you what that might have been.
4 points. Whoops.
Okay, so that's all just happened. You've just seen actual magic. You've just seen actual magic used. Like, there's no way to see it any other way. She screamed some great cry, lightning smashed across the sky, and then, you know, the rector's body exploded apart with blood flying out from every direction, and then he fell backwards as a desiccated yellow corpse as a result.
Sorry, I need to interject and say I've lost 5 sanity points in one interaction, which means is it temporary insanity?
Temporary
for me?
insanity.
I have to do an intelligence roll, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, and you have to fail it.
I want to see you get into that sort of, I want to wash the blood off my hands.
Absolutely.
Wash the blood off with more blood.
Yes, I
And you failed it.
fail it.
I laugh at the fact it's clearly I'm wrong. It's not magic. The priest obviously had some horrible blood-borne disease that you weren't aware of, and it's all very explainable. Eliza has an explanation in her head, whatever that might be.
I think that you know, she just thinks that like him seeing these people that were so ungodly has, you know, made him kind of like, you know, an underlying.
I had a whole body stigmata.
Yes, absolutely. You know, which is just not uncommon, not unheard of. So, but I do think though that despite that, when the blood actually does come to her, I think that she does scream, and I think that she's repressing this stuff as she's screaming and running away. You know, because that is terrifying in and of itself, right?
Okay, so Eliza bolts.
Yeah.
I'm taking a second to look at the mess. Oh, mon Dieu, my clothes. Hell, does anyone know how to get Rector off your clothes? And then I try and slink away. The English is crazy.
What are you doing, Vice Countess? What's your response?
Rage.
Rage, absolutely.
Yes.
Like, that is the only way that I am holding on to my sanity at this point, is I am so enraged by the disgusting behavior of these people. Not only did they breach every rule of etiquette, they were so inhospitable, and then I don't know, like, maybe the lightning hit the rector. I'm horrified by everything I've seen, but just like, how could she do this? And it's like, all right, Bessie, it's time.
I knew Bessie was going to be the name of the gun. All right, perfect. All right, so I literally was thinking in my head, you're about to say Bessie, like I'm not even thinking about it. It was going to be Bessie. All right, so roll a firearms skill check, please, as you level your weapon.
My pistol.
So
Right.
I assume so go to combat, and if you click on the pistol, it'll all roll.
Combat. Okay.
The combat tab, and just click on the pistol, and it should hopefully everything going according to plan.
You've not selected a target for your pistol check. Do you want to proceed anyway? Yes.
Yeah. At least it does that. In the One Ring, it doesn't do that
Target
question.
dummy,
It stops you.
right.
Target dummy. Did it do anything?
Yep. Roll for you've got to click on the button. Roll
Got a simple
firearms.
shot button.
Oh, roll firearm there. Okay.
Does she have any modifiers, like advantage or disadvantage or anything?
No.
It's. I've clicked it, but it didn't seem to do anything.
Look down the barrel.
Failure.
Right. There's an almighty boom, and smoke and sound and flame springs from the Vice Countess's hand pointing directly at the people who've just been throwing magic at you. There's an almighty sound of the crack of thunder, and then flame shoots from the Vice Countess's hand. Because it's pre-handguns.
Yeah.
All right. They go. So you do that. I'll deal with that in a second. I'm going to ask though, Lily, what is Georgiana Wentworth doing in this mess?
Well, I think quite similar to Eliza, she would have let out a scream of horror as soon as that happened to the rector. Later, she'll probably rationalize it like maybe it was a lightning bolt. They did hear that thunder. Maybe it was that spontaneous human combustion with invisible flames that they heard so much about. Who knows? But right now, she can't even think of anything. She's screaming, and she's going to clutch at the Viscountess's arm or back, which is probably out of reach given that she's just gone for her gun. But she's keeping close to the Viscountess, and she's probably going to be trying to convince her to run as well, although it doesn't look like that will be successful at this moment. But she's quite content to cower behind the Viscountess at this point.
Okay. So you've done this thing, right? You fired the gun. All three of the people look at you and go, "Are you also of the faith?"
All I can manage is kind of like incoherent raging at them. I certainly do not.
Right. Okay. Well, they are like standing back now because you have clearly also cast magic. You summoned thunder and fire, and it sprang from your hand. So they're like, okay, maybe we misunderstood. Maybe this was your pet or something. We don't really understand the relationship with the God botherer, but maybe he was your. But why are you? So they're throwing you all these questions like, why were you with the priest if you were with us? Why were you? Like they're just throwing all these words at you. You're incoherent in rage. However, Georgiana Wentworth, you're not. Is there anything you would like to do to respond to the people, or would you like to drag the Viscountess away from them?
I think that Georgiana is probably trying to drag the enraged Viscountess after Eliza and Mr. Duplessis. How successful she's going to be at this, because I think the Viscountess is substantially larger than her, is debatable.
Yeah. All right. So you're desperately trying. So this is all going down. Viscountess, you fired your weapon. What do you want to do now? You didn't hit him.
No. I think I recognize like the pulling on my skirts of Georgiana, and it starts to activate the mother part of my brain. It's like, oh yes, I must protect the children, and so I will now try to exit the scene as quickly as possible.
Right, you're waving the now empty gun in their general direction and pulling back. All right, so two of you ran off into the darkness. Two of you retreat a little bit slower and more carefully, but ultimately into the darkness. They are desperately trying to communicate with you, but give up when you are clearly not trusting them. They do pick up you do see them picking up the priest's body though and throwing it on the fire. Get rid of the evidence. Better throw that on the fire.
The smell of flesh and peppermint tea
Yeah. He did have his tea leaves with him when it happened. So. All right, so
Lovely.
you go back into the darkness. Now, Eliza and Reginald, you guys ran off into the darkness very wisely.
Retreated into the darkness.
Retreat. Fair. Adroitly. We retreated adroitly into the an adroit retreating. You guys have sort of run off into the darkness. You come out of the forest. You didn't really go the way you came, right? Like it's like you're running away. You can see a much bigger fire, which you haven't seen before. So you didn't see it when you first arrived on the thing. You've been running around in the darkness now for about an hour and a half. And there's this very large fire in the distance, and it seems to be at a windmill. So there's a big windmill, and it's on fire. You can see the windmill's vanes very clearly lit up in the fire.
What could possibly go wrong? Well, I would hope to probably have slowed down a bit to try and see if I can find any of my companions. But so I can see two fires now, the smaller and the larger. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, well, I'm not going back to the smaller one, but I would probably have stopped. And if I haven't found them for a while, then I'd probably continue very cautiously onto the larger fire to see if I can find out what's happening there, assuming that they might also be attracted to that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Eliza, you were just behind Reginald or just in front? It's not clear, one or the other.
Yeah, I think that he probably ran. He's probably more athletic. I'm in a dress, and also it's still wet, so
Yeah.
I can't imagine I'm running very fast unless I want to chafe my legs, something awful. So I think that she's like, Mr. Duplessis, wait.
Oh, as soon as I hear that, I would stop and wait. Yeah, who is that? Is that Eliza? Eliza, are you okay?
Yes. Am I all right? The stigmata. I mean, I don't understand any of this. They clearly don't like religious types. There's clearly some sort of. They seemed angry when I said it was druidic, but it's the definition of druidic. I don't understand what they're talking about, but they just seem so angry. Perhaps if we are going to that fire, we just look from a distance, perhaps, and don't mention anything about, the good book.
I very much agree with you. I think that we slow down. Maybe I tear off some of, if I may tear off a little strip at the bottom of your dress and leave some markers, if at all possible, and make our way quietly and cautiously, and maybe our companions, the indomitable mistress, will maybe find us, hopefully. So I did see some horrible things while passing through Paris during the Revolution, but nothing like that. That was
It
awful.
was savagery. It made me think of Normandy. I don't know. You remember, like last session, I said I was like worried about the far off reaches of France and how savage they might be.
You were worried.
I was worried, but apparently that's also infected English shores. So I'll stay close to you.
Okay. Yes, but I agree. We stop at a distance and slowly see what we can see before we go asking for tea, perhaps.
Okay, so you guys are slowly moving to the burning thing. We'll assume that the Viscountess and Georgiana kind of catch you up at this point. So you're all happy to move to the windmill? So Viscountess and Georgiana Wentworth, you both catch up.
Okay.
You can see them moving off in the distance.
Yeah, Georgiana is probably happy to follow them as well.
Yeah.
For lack of anything better to do.
If you are okay, worshipfulness, then we will. They cannot all be crazy like that woman. So maybe we'll find some help or some safety near this other fire. Shall we at least have a look very carefully, please? I must insist.
I'm still holding the pistol in my hand, shaking rather a lot.
Yes.
It's the first time. Well, first time in a long time you've fired it at someone.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm actually very happy it still worked. But director, it's director. What? He threw him on the fire, like onto the fire. I do not like this place at all. I want to go home.
I do too. Oh, it's not a nice place at all.
And just followed my two young lords into this enormous hug. And then
Please, do not
Probably sobbing
cry.
at this
I
point
have
as
something
well.
in my eye.
feel ourselves.
Indeed.
Lady,
No, just don't forget, we've weathered harder than this, right? We've gone to London for the social season. We've experienced that, and that was hard enough. So, we've weathered difficult times.
I've got nothing on my character sheet, but would it be possible that I might have some, like a hip flask of some
I'll
brandy?
allow it. Yeah,
Okay, well,
sure.
thank you. Okay, well, that's the case. Then I'll pass it around to try and calm everyone, including my nerves. So,
Yeah.
a sip, a shot, a sip, a sip, a sip. Just to-
Yeah, absolutely.
yes, just to
Fortify
calm down.
ourselves.
And maybe, Viscount, do you have any more? Can you make your gun work again? Can you reload it?
Yes,
Great.
a very
Then
wise idea. I shall do it immediately.
Excellent.
All
Okay,
right, so you reload the gun, and then to confirm, do you head towards the windmill,
Yes.
which is very well lit up now? It's like completely on fire.
we'll probably go to the nearest trees and wait there and see what we can see before we progress any further.
Well, it's kind of out in the plain, so you've got to
Okay.
sort of go out onto the plain to see it.
Yeah.
You can see a whole group of people, though. There are people yelling and shouting, and as you get closer, you can see people are throwing buckets of water onto the windmill. There are people standing around the fire, obviously, as there always will be in any community. But there are people desperately trying to put out the fire. They see you approaching. Quick, grab a bucket and give us a hand. We think someone's caught in there.
Straight away, I look at the Viscountess and say, "Yes, let us help. They may help us if we do this." So run straight in and get a bucket and start helping.
Right. Okay. So do you? Right. Okay. Well, you're all throwing buckets on, but it's not having much effect. Like the fire's well and truly caught. One of the people is talking to you. By the way, Reginald, can you make an intellect roll for me? Intelligence roll.
Yes. Hang on.
I don't know if I made this comment last time. I can't remember, but anyway, I'll make it now.
Oh, just failed. I'm not burning that much luck at this point.
Okay. No. You're good. You don't. It's fine. Something going on, but you haven't picked it up yet. All right. So they're all talking to all of you. So we think there's someone caught in there, but we can't get in. They all look at you, Reginald.
Who is it? Who's inside?
We don't know. One of the guys is kind of got a mask over his face, like he's wrapped a scarf or something over his face. Is going. I don't know. There was I saw someone on the ground inside the thing, but I couldn't get to them.
Can I psychology that? Because I've got a bad feeling about this. Something about the Wicker Man is sticking in my head.
Oh, okay, sure. Sure. Make a psychology roll. You're testing to see whether they're happily watching this. No, you think these people are desperately trying to save someone.
Okay.
But good to check.
Is there a door somewhere nearby?
There's a door into the windmill.
Okay. Well, if I can find some cloth or something, some big amount of cloth. And just the one thing, are they wearing the same 12th century clothes that the villagers were?
Yes.
Okay, so there's still something weird going on. Well, I don't know why, but I feel like I'm going to try and cover myself up as much as I can and kick the door in.
Okay. And some other people can help with this, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Make a natural world roll for me to sort of, apply enough water on your scarves and other things to minimize the risk of smoke and other things. So if someone wants to help Reginald, who might have better than 10 natural world, please feel free to assist.
Georgiana has 30. It's not much, but it's something. So does that give him a bonus dice, or does that mean that Georgiana rolls as well?
Yeah, Georgiana rolls as well.
Okay.
So should I roll as well?
Yep.
Oh,
fantastic. Yes, mine would be pretty bad.
All right, so Georgiana, you're able to sort of, no, you're doing it all wrong kind of thing. You soak various pieces of clothing, you wrap it around, and boldly charge in. Just trying to find the sort of athletic. What's the athletic skill in this game?
it'd probably just be a strength roll, wouldn't it?
Or maybe dex.
Yeah, I guess there's no athletics. I guess so. Yeah, I was looking for something like some sort of physical skill. But yep, strength roll.
Dancing.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Well, you are very fit.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Look at that. Ooh. Leaps in, dances past the fire. You can see a body. You can see a body in the building, and you are able to drag it out. It's the priest you met. It's the priest you met in the tavern the other time you were here. The priest who came and talked to you right at the beginning of the night. Now, unfortunately, he's dead.
Right. Oh, well,
We're not having much luck with priests tonight.
Yeah, I thought that was a ready-made new NPC for you.
Can I get you to make a spot hidden roll for me, please?
Well, I'm not very good at this.
Or you can make a medicine roll, but I'm guessing you're a spot hidden.
No, I've got I've got first aid, but no. Spot hidden, let's try that. Nope.
Wow.
Oh,
okay.
Sorry about that.
No, he's dead. He's dead, Jim.
Is he bringing the body out? Like, has he brought the body out?
I assume so. Yeah, he dragged it out of the fire.
Can others also roll that?
If they would like to, yep.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Getting close, getting close.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yes.
Just missed.
Just missed. Georgiana Wentworth, do you want to? Yep, there we are. Nice.
It's cousin time.
It's cousin time.
It's cousin time.
All right. He is dead, but he's dead because someone stabbed him.
Oh, that will do it.
I think that as like Georgiana and like Eliza walk over to the bodies, it's kind of like put on the ground, and Reginald looks so dashing, and I think that like if we had fans, we would be fanning ourselves. Like it's very kind of like heroic
as well.
Exactly. And but I think that when he puts it down and we kind of both, I think we both have a sense of morbid curiosity about these sorts of things. And so, we kind of peer over and both of us recognize the same thing and we just lock eyes. And Eliza wouldn't say anything because she's in the presence of everyone else. As I think that she looks at Georgiana with that look of like, we are truly, truly fucked. Like we are absolutely fucked because somebody here has stabbed this man and we're potentially next. So yeah, I wouldn't say anything about it at this point, but that's kind of what comes over her face.
Stigmata, lightning strikes, stabbings. It's all going down.
I think
Was-
that
Being so
yeah,
old
what is
school these
Vagina do?
days.
Sorry, what was that, Lily?
Georgiana would
Stabbing is
probably
so
muffle
old
a
school.
scream with one hand pressed to her mouth and her other just like gripping Eliza's arm like really tight, and she'll sort of pull back a bit, just looking with wide eyes at this murdered person.
Yep, they're dead, Jim. Okay, so the father is dead. So they all go, "Oh my God, someone killed the priest."
You bastards.
Well, on the upside, they know it wasn't us, so that's something.
No, you were the hero.
Mm. Who would do
Must be
this?
that witch, says one of the people. It must be the witch.
Which? What do you mean, which? Who are you talking about?
Oh, sorry, I have to put on a completely facile Yorkshire accent for this conversation. Oh yeah, well, there was this. She's been helping the crews of the ships. She's been helping them catch fish and stuff. But you got to watch those sort of people. And she brought down this great man. So he testified to her, and now the priests, they're gonna, send her on, cleanse her soul. But rumor has it there are other witches.
Can we give a bit of a description as to the woman that we saw and say, is this who you're talking about?
So you give them the description of the woman. Is this the witch that you...
Was she about this high and shot fire out of her fingers and killed people and such?
Oh my God! You've discovered another witch.
Does she have a big bird, some kind of kestrel or something like that?
Well, they truck with animal familiars, says one of them. Ooh, there's a lot of nodding from the crowd at this point. A lot of nodding. All right, where did you see the witch?
Back there, in the forest.
Right. We should do something about that, they all say. And they, instant torch.
Yes,
torch,
you should. Yes,
torch crowd.
Yes, you should. You definitely should do that. Yes.
You see them marching in towards the forest, a large group of them with torches.
Down to that, turn left at the hill and then the second small fire. That is where she was.
Okay, they're heading in. A whole bunch of them stay behind, obviously, like it's not everyone, but there's a fairly significant group of people heading into the forest with torches now. The rest of them, though, are picking up the priest and going, "Oh my God, this is terrible!" Like that. To see this done in our time, to see priests brought low during the reign of our good King Edward, who has brought such peace to the land.
Yes.
Terrible nightmare.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. That is the king. Yes.
Yes, I think the men of the class are having quite a difficult time of it these days.
Yes, well, no. I mean, before good King Edward's rise to the throne, of course, there was a disastrous period of poor governance, but Edward has written many fine laws that have brought justice to the land, and he's dealt with those goddamn Celts, who are barbarians and who live at the edge of, civil society in their hills. So many hills.
Yes, the Highlands.
That's right. The ones to the north and the ones to the west.
Ooh, I don't like those. I think that like her and her family do have friends in Scotland in their time, right?
It's a given.
Yeah.
Although, well, loyal people, don't forget you're not actually that far from the Jacobite Rebellion.
True, yeah. True.
So you're not, the right type of Scottish people.
Yes, exactly. like lower class people, it's the same scum as everyone else, but very educated and refined Celtish people, wonderful, God-fearing, king or queen honoring, Scottish people. Yes, absolutely.
I don't even think the Methodists would be around yet. No,
Yeah.
anyway.
No, you've got about a bit before the Methodists. There's a bit of time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, but even in the Regency period, I think it's pre-Methodist.
Yeah.
So it's all starting to come down on the Viscountess now, and I've taken it into my head that actually this really is a horrible nightmare, because I remember now that we went to bed and we woke up and standing on the bluff, and now I'm starting to very much hope that if we just lie down and go to sleep, we'll wake up on the bluff and the rector will be alive. None of this will have happened, and it's all just a horrible nightmare.
Okay.
So I'm going to be very much pushing that we find somewhere to sleep as soon as possible to make this all go away.
Okay. Can you make a power roll for me, please?
Power?
Oh,
Where is that?
strong suit
It's
for
one of
you.
your stats.
All right. It's about as good as my sanity check.
Yes, it is. As a matter of
The
fact,
funny
funny
thing
story
is, the priest is really good at this stuff.
Yeah.
This would be a big old no.
okay. You're still here, and you're surrounded by people going, yes, we must take the rector's body, the priest's body, to the church, and we must make sure that that the right people are, brought to justice. Yes, burn the witches now. That sort of thing.
I'll start a bit of fit of coughing after trying my
of course, just at this right moment.
Yeah,
remind
just to
everyone.
start that to run over here. I'm still quite taken by the smoke and the dying and the things. Is there somewhere perhaps that my compatriots and I can maybe rest up?
Perhaps
yes, we'll take you to the inn.
Well, I mean, of course, everyone is having to go, of course, to the abbey or what is it? Is it an abbey? What did they say that they were at? Like the priest was at was it an abbey or was it a church? Or
No,
was
it's a church. It's a church.
Okay, cool, right. I think that she says, well, in dire times, of course, you can always find comfort and succor at the local church. Perhaps we could find lodgings there, because I think that she kind of is as well kind of like holding Georgiana's hand and kind of squeezes it just to let her know that there may be something else afoot here, and she kind of wants to look at any papers that the priest might have had about what might have been going on prior to his death. So that's what she asks. I mean, if you'd like me to do a persuade roll or something to try and convince them, happy to do that. Or
yep.
Okay.
Give me a persuade roll. Oh no, that's fine. Actually, you know what? No, they'll go with it. That's fine.
Sweet.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
So you're convincing them to take you to the church, just to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Are the rest of you happily dragged along on this journey to the church?
Well, just where this thing was on fire, is that a farm that's away or something?
It's like a windmill, and there would have been a farm nearby, but you haven't really clocked the farm.
Okay.
The windmill was the grinding things.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and we kind of know where the village is.
You do, and they're taking you. Well, it's a town, and they're taking you to the town of Dunwich.
Okay. Well, unless we have any other look, okay, I will just follow along with that.
Right. You all go to the church. You arrive. There's a bunch of guys in monastic clothing, which you kind of vaguely recognize. There's not many monks in England, but you get the idea. You've just been to France, where they're dime a dozen. You can find a monk around every corner. So, and they've got a woman tied to a stake in the middle of the church courtyard, and they've got a whole bunch of wood piled around her feet.
Is it the woman who killed the rector?
It's not anyone you recognize. The guy who's been with you all and goes, yes, it is. This is the witch Sarah.
Hang on. We came across a woman who attacked us, and one of the things that she said was, "You've taken Sarah." Does this Sarah have a mother or something? Does anybody know?
Dead. She basically grew up an orphan, but yeah, she's got a strange way with fish.
This is not the woman that attacked us.
Well, that's right, because as you were showing us, there are other witches.
Well, as to that, we have no. I have not seen it myself, but I am more concerned about the woman who killed our compatriot.
Well, you should be, but don't worry. Once we've burnt this witch, there'll be room to burn another one.
I'm going to try and charm if I can, but so my thing is, look, of course, in these times of stress, and we have just lost a important man of the cloth, and everyone is tired and exhausted, and there's pressure, but maybe we can stop and think about this and try and find the real culprit, and who may not be this young woman. Is she young or is she old?
Youngish.
Maybe we should sleep on this.
Pretty bedraggled at the moment, so actual age could be difficult to determine.
Is it possible maybe that we could just secure her and think about this, and you could help us find this other one that we did see? We actually saw her kill our priest that was with us. Look, and maybe we can.
I understand everything you're saying, and look, you know, you are modeling the very behaviors of good King Edward in seeking justice and ensuring that justice is done.
And
I can assure you, sir, that this woman is a witch. And not only that, we must honor the good father who lies dead in front of us and who did identify her as a witch. And therefore, you know, we must follow his requirements. Eliza, can I
ask, like, so I mean, you know, they've got someone up on, you know, on a stake, right?
Yep.
And she's probably like, you know, like, is she screaming? Is she saying anything? Is she protesting her innocence?
She's silently looking at everyone very angrily.
Right. Like, and she has like a gag in her mouth or something, or she's just not saying anything.
No gag. She's just not saying anything.
I think that Eliza would kind of like walk a little bit closer to the pyre and just say, "Who are you, Sarah? Are you truly a witch?"
What I may be and what I might not be is none of your concern. What I am is not what I am accused of being. I do not. All I did was try to bring the what did she say? All I tried to do was try to bring justice and fairness. And for this, I am punished.
Right. I kind of like, is there a possibility? Because it seems like she's being tight-lipped, which I kind of don't. I don't think that Eliza really understands. And me as a player, obviously, I don't understand because this is a role-playing game. I don't think she really gets it, because I think that if Eliza was falsely accused of something, she would be screaming black and blue about all of her positive qualities. Yeah. So, like, is there a possibility to do like a psychology role here or something like that? Because I don't think Eliza wants to step her neck out for her. This woman is already like, oh, it's none of your concern. It's like, okay, fine.
Make a psychology roll. That's fine.
Cool. Yeah. I just want to understand whether or not she is like lying or just whether she's on the up and up about what she's saying. Okay. Regular success.
She's not afraid.
That disquiets Eliza, and she falls silent. I don't think she's able to conceive of a world in which she wouldn't be afraid of death.
So when people took off to find the witch, did they just locate Sarah? Is that who they?
No. Sarah was already. They already said they had one witch. This woman has clearly been here for a little while. They've built a big fire. They've got the whole thing ready to go. Well, you guys are all standing there. The monks are, chanting in Latin. They're saying, "We will save her soul. We will bring her to goodness." They're lighting the fire. They're not waiting for you. There's not anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not really our place to step in, but we'll say a quiet little prayer and turn away and just sort of walk away.
Okay. So as they light the fire, there you see Sarah do a similar gesture to the one you saw the other woman do. She holds a hand up in the sky like this and shouts a bunch of words. And those words you can understand. Believers of the lie, hear my words. He that is dark behind the night, he that resides beyond our reach, I call upon thee. Answer this prayer from your devoted servant, that my unfading wish, my undying desire will be realized. The bell that tolls marks not my end alone, but the ruin of you all. And as she says that, the bells of the church start ringing loudly. The storm clouds race in across the sky, and you see what looks almost like a sheet of lightning sweeping in with the clouds. The waters rise, and you hear the crashing sound of waves, and your last memory is of the storm crashing down upon the town that you're in with such sudden and absolute violence that you are flung against walls and hurled into instant darkness. You're now standing on a bluff. An owl flies over your head saying, "That's a bit odd then." Rector, you are standing on a bluff with everyone else. You have a very distinct memory of being dead, though. You have a really distinct memory of all of the blood of your body flying out. Could you make a sanity roll for me, please?
Oh, yeah. The only thing that
I just hit the sanity, don't I? Yep.
Reginald's happy that his hip fast is a bit fuller.
Okay. Take a point of sanity.
Okay. So I just drop it to 79, don't I?
Correctamundo.
Yeah. The resurrection.
Reginald feels into his pocket and is happy that his hip flask is fuller and takes quite a big swig this time.
I'm just taking some solace in my Bible, thanks, if you don't mind.
I'm going to fall down on my knees in front of the rector and start praying because I'm like clapping him around the knees.
Oh my dear, you must be frightfully worried.
So the whole time, three times this has happened now, the weather's been the same. It's kind of like night. That's right. We can't see much further. Okay. All right. So are we in agreement that there is something very wrong going on here?
Yes, monsieur. It is very, very wrong. And we need to leave this awful place, but I do not know how.
That said, Rector, very nice to have you back.
We're in hell. Hell is where we are.
I
have seen the demons upon the shores. I've seen them burning flames.
Yes,
well, there is no flame here, so perhaps it is just purgatory?
No, I can't see myself going to purgatory.
It's also, I'll just make the point, it's a very Catholic thing, purgatory. There is no purgatory. But that doesn't mean you don't think it's not purgatory. I'm just making the point that you're outing yourself as a Catholic.
Sorry, I actually, one area that I have very little knowledge is religion, so.
Luckily, I spent
Like me, the plan.
several years as
I
an
love
evangelical
character.
before I worked out what was really going on. Anyway, all good. No, it's good. I like it. I like the idea that the argument is maybe it's not hell, maybe it's purgatory, maybe we're just trapped in an endless limbo-like experience.
Yeah.
Perhaps the ship was wrecked in a storm, and we're all dead. Maybe this is some sort of. I know it's unchristian, but some sort of afterlife.
Oh my God.
That is as good an explanation as any. Could we all be dreaming? Could we all be asleep somewhere? Look, all I think is
Those dreadful pirates actually drugged us to steal all of our worldly goods, or kidnapped us, and are demanding our families pay over all our money to free us. Oh, no, I cannot think. There's just endless horrible thoughts. We must deal with just what is in front of us. That's all we can do.
Indeed. And
yeah.
Oh, thank you. And it is rather curious. I mean, Rector, you are back, and that is incredibly odd and weird. And I don't
By the way,
know.
Eliza, you're completely healed as well. I'll just make that point.
Oh, okay, great, thank you.
Keep on.
And I'm vim. I feel vim and vigor. Racing through my veins. There's something of odd melees about this place, but we know one thing. Because I'm kind of adding this in because I feel like she's only 2 points away from indefinite insanity. I feel like if we can't die, then we can never make a wrong choice. You see, so therefore we can do whatever we like. We can go and interrogate those bonfire people and find out more about who Sarah is, because all that's going to happen again. Don't you see? It's like a story. It's like my book. And she's like pointing at her book.
There is a better book that I would like you to abide by.
Though I walk in the shadow
your
of
good, wholesome ways, they will always guide you, my son, my daughter.
Well, though I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. Is that not right, Father?
That is true, but you must be a good person to get into heaven.
Oh, I'm very good.
And how was Evan, Father? Was it everything that you hoped?
Of course. I was waiting around with a cup of tea and a good biscuit.
So long as you got your cup of tea, then. Okay, Eliza, I this is crazy, but I tend to agree with you. So, in my mind, we have so far 3 options. We have the town of Dunwich, the small fire where they do not like making tea so much, and the large fire. At some point, we need to go somewhere we have been before to see if things return for everyone, or if they remember having seen us. Have we made some kind of input? So do we go to the fire and let the priest not say anything, or do we go back to the village and see if the other priest is still alive? We need something to set us with some kind of parameters.
Can you make a intelligence roll, Reginald? Yes, Lily.
I guess after he makes the intelligence.
Oh yeah, boy.
Just to, I guess I was just wondering. So, does it seem like we're appearing on the beach at the same time as we did before?
Yes.
And does it seem, just checking, the time that woman would have cast the spell that just destroyed everything with the storm, would have that been about the same time in the first iteration or loop that we went to sleep and then woke up there?
Possibly. You don't have a very strong memory of. But
Yeah.
you woke up on the beach having gone to sleep, so you don't have a recollection of what happened intervening.
Okay.
But you're pretty sure you're arriving, like you're appearing on the beach at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And possibly we're being cast back here at the same time, which seems to be when that woman destroyed everything.
Yes.
Cast from to, yeah.
Yeah.
So this will work well with the intelligence check that Reginald's just made. So Reginald,
Oui.
you realize, so the priest, there must be a point where the priest is alive in this timeline, because he came and saw you at the inn.
Yes.
So very early on, like you walked straight to the town, he basically met you pretty much straight after you rocked up. Someone went and ran and got him. But there is a window there between whatever happens to him at the windmill, and you know where the windmill is, and where he is in the town. There's actually a window.
He had an appointment.
Yes.
So if we go to the windmill first, we may be able to preempt whatever happens to him.
And that goes very well with Georgiana's point, which is, hold on, we're reappearing at the same point every time.
So I'm assuming, I mean, I know this is meta, but I'm assuming it's Groundhog Day. We've just got to get something right. So we've got to find out what that point is. So, my initial thing was we go back to the village to see if the priest recognizes us. That would then tell us if it resets for everyone, or do we pick another point and do that? So I would outlay that to everyone and say, and then let us all decide which we do. But whatever, the only things that we do not do is go to the small fire asking for the priest to ask for some tea. Let us not do that.
Yes.
And by the way, Reginald, because you finally made an intelligence check and you made an extreme success, just for your awareness, you realize suddenly everyone's talking to you in French.
Right. Okay.
You haven't paid any attention to it to now. It's just been flow of conversation, and you suddenly realize, including these people, what you hear is French. When they talk to you, you hear French.
Okay, that's interesting. Finally, the barbarians have woken up to themselves. Okay.
So do you relay that thought around stopping the priest from being attacked?
Absolutely. But as I said, my initial thought would have been to go to the village to then see if he recognized us or if anyone recognized us, because then we would know if it's just us or if it's the whole region sort of thing. But the other thing, I don't really want to act on. I don't know if is that meta for me to understand that there's a gap. I suppose if I've realized there's a gap from my role, then it's not really. So we could go straight to meta.
I'm giving you
okay, well that's cool. So we could go, the other option I would outline then is that we could go straight to the windmill and see what transpires and maybe head it off at the pass.
Indeed, and I'll also throw in a thought. We had a thorny reception with the woman who did very much not like our lovely rector. Mayhaps if we get that girl off that pyre and bring her to that woman, we get a positive reaction.
Eliza, that is wonderful. I like that. There is a symmetry to all of that. One solves the other and then solves the other. But so what we don't know, was she in the town when we first went? She wasn't on the pyre, but she might have been in the town.
We never saw anyone. We just went straight to the tavern. So I do not like any of this, but I think we should go to the town and and perhaps just go straight to the church. She was at that poor woman on the pyre was at the church.
Okay. Can I also suggest that maybe we turn up? We do look at probably quite outlandish to these people. Maybe we can try and do something about that, and then the rector maybe would have more of an in with the other priest who might believe more of what you want to say. I mean, I wouldn't tell him the whole truth, otherwise we'll all be on stakes next to that woman. But maybe we could guide him a little bit that way.
Or if we feel we're not having success, perhaps the Viscountess, being of course our gracious host, could alongside with the rector have a small moment, perhaps a cup of tea with him, and delay him while others intervene.
That is a very good thought, Eliza. Yes, we should see. I don't know how could we find clothing to dress like these people? There is no way that I'm putting on one of their gowns. I doubt they would fit me.
All right. So what do you guys want to do? There's been a few ideas tossed around. Where are you going to go?
Yeah, so I do have an ability of disguise, so I could maybe help a little bit in that regard. I don't know how well it would work or whether it's just for myself, but I'm also, and I know this is going to get probably shot down, do we split the party and then have some go to the church and some go to the windmill?
That does sound like maybe a good idea if we've got a time limit. If like the rector and perhaps Viscountess Purbeck wanted to do the distracting of the priest, and then the rest of us perhaps could go try to save Sarah.
Or yes, or I was, or go to the windmill. But yes, either way, yes, I think you two most excellent people will probably be the best distraction for the priest, and maybe we can see what we can find out. Yeah, are we agreed?
I will make a. You know what? No, all good.
Well,
all right.
I'm not sure I can leave these two young ladies to go off by themselves.
Oh, madam, I am injured. You wound me. Of course, I just saved. I tried to save a man. Of course, their honor would be mine.
A very fine job, but
Indeed.
I shall not be letting my two young wards go off unaccompanied by either by myself or the rector. I think perhaps the rector could talk alone with this priest, and
Reginald gets a little bit sulky at that. Fine, do it. Whatever you will. Whatever you will.
Yeah. Well, I must think of what is proper. These young ladies.
Maybe. Okay, let us away then. Let us.
All right, so let me just check in. You're sending the old decrepit priest by himself to stop the other priest. I'm just checking in on the plan. And the other four of you are going to the bonfire of the witches.
No, I think
no.
I think we're all going.
No, you're going to the You're going to the church. You're going to the church in the town.
Yeah, so I think that we'll all probably walk into town together with the idea that if we encounter the priest, perhaps he is waylaid by the rector.
Okay, and if he isn't,
Offers the
what's
tea.
the plan?
If he isn't, did we notice any horses in the village?
You didn't spend that much time in the village, as someone has already pointed out.
All right.
You pretty much.
Well, then we have to try and attach ourselves to him for his meeting that he had to leave for, which eventually got him killed. I think.
Yes. Well.
Sorry, who got killed?
We do
the priest.
The priest, you know that.
Oops.
It's just as well you said that, because I was happy to go off ignorant of all this.
I wasn't there. I didn't see it happen. I don't know what you're talking about.
It was rather unfortunate that we found that he had been murdered after we had.
Oh, that is
Well-
unfortunate. That's all right. You fill me in on the details.
Yeah.
But
All right, so you all race to the town. I just want to move
Yeah.
it along
Yeah.
a bit.
we go to the town. We go to
You
the
all
town.
race to the town as fast as you can. Can I get con rolls from everyone, please?
Oh shit. Oh yes. What?
Yes, I'm on it. I've been reinvigorated. The Lord has blessed me with strength.
Wow.
You say a priest is going to
Those are some
die.
good rolls. The only one who hasn't rolled, Lily.
Oh. The two
That is-
Georgianas are lagging at the back.
Okay, so the two Georgianas will arrive very puffed out, but the other three of you got like hard successes, so you're all feeling great. Nice invigorating walk across the moors. You know,
This is Sherlock Holmes territory. This is like
Yeah.
a classic mystery novel, territory. I think that like Eliza's invigorated by like
Yeah.
solving the mystery.
Now,
Yeah,
just
you know.
to annoy the Viscountess a little bit, I'm going to walk with Eliza and let her, and if she wishes to, she can put her arm on mine, offer her my arm as we walk. No actual bad
Ooh.
intentions. No bad intentions, but just to, because she cannot catch
Whoa.
me anyway.
All right, so you
Absolutely.
guys, okay, so you all rock up in town. You've gotten there.
I think that's
Some of you are
appropriate.
exhausted. Some of you not so exhausted. You go straight to the church because let's face it, pretty much everything you want to do is happening at the church. The priest is at the church, as far as you would guess.
Yeah.
St. Bartholomew's, by the way, and there's monks. You arrive at the church, and the beginnings of the pyre are being built. So the stick is there, the log in the middle is there. There's there's a sort of scaffold around it. There's a bunch of monks, once again, sort of floating around. And there's the church itself, which is behind that courtyard, and there's the big double doors. There's also a very anyway, maybe wealthy-ish looking person. I mean, he's a bit ordinary dressed for you guys, but you're guessing that's meant to be what goes for good clothing around here. Sort of overseeing all of this. You haven't seen him before. He's new.
Okay.
Oh, there you go, Rich.
No, you go. Sorry, I was just thinking.
I was actually gonna just like kind of put my hand on the Viscountess' shoulder and say, I think that I spy a very important person because he looks oddly better dressed than everyone else. Perhaps you introduce yourself.
Mhm.
Oh yes.
He doesn't have shit all over him.
Okay, Viscountess, do you go and introduce yourself?
Heck yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Okay. So make a etiquette roll.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Nope.
Oh, I do not know the correct etiquette of this time and
He
place.
looks at you with a look of horror. Good Lord, woman, why are you unescorted in this place? Where is your husband?
She needs not a husband. I'm escorting the dowager.
He looks at you. Who are you?
My beloved husband is in heaven, and I'm escorted by the rector here.
Good day,
You
human.
have some cleric who escorts you? Whatever. Where is the person who, has taken ownership of your lands? The right and noble man who now, has proper possession and ownership.
My son, the Viscount Herlick, is at his home.
Well,
The rector was escorting me on my travels, and we are now sadly lost after being cast adrift by pirates.
I see.
And here we are, arriving and seeking some godly help, and you have been nothing but rude to me.
I cannot. I apologize. I did not realize that you were a widow. Obviously, you would understand. It is deeply, deeply we must be careful of women with heirs. And he says with heirs with a particular emphasis.
Looking over towards the pyre.
Yeah. He does glance towards the pyre.
Can has he introduced himself at all?
No.
Mm-hmm. My apologies. I'm escorted by the Lady Purbeck, Dowager Viscountess Purbeck, and I am, of course, Miss Eliza Hastings. And your name, good sir? Is this your parish?
Eliza.
Are you fluttering your eyelids?
Okay. Well, young lady, he says with a smirk and a smile.
Yeah.
I see. One assumes you are seeking a husband. Perhaps that is why you are traveling, I assume. You're seeking husband.
I am, of course, eligible.
Oh, well, yes, I can tell that. And he leers in a disgusting, slimy way.
Oh, you do flatter me so.
Licking his lips.
Oh, gross.
You may call me Goodman Levitt.
Indeed.
I'm going to just slide away during this sort of interaction. I'm going to try and wander around and see if I can find some where the monks. I'm looking for a monk's cassock. That's what I'm trying to find. If I can find.
There are a few, but they're currently on monks.
On people, yes, I know. So I was thinking about having a sticky beak around.
But you are a very, like all good French people of the period, you understand the Catholic model very well. You know that there will be appropriate vestry and cassocky like clothing just in that side building attached to the church, right there. That's where it'll be.
That's where
in the vestry. Go and hit up that vestry, and you'll be able to pick up appropriate clothing.
Thank you.
So I assume you hit up the vestry and grab some cassocking.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. So the Frenchman's disappeared. You guys are getting leered at by Levitt.
Can I?
Yes.
Sorry, I keep interrupting. My apologies. Well, while this is happening, while me and the Viscountess are kind of like engaging this man in a tete-a-tete, and Eliza's holding down the vomit. Does Georgiana have an opportunity to perhaps spot hidden or kind of deduct anything about this scene or what might be happening?
Miss Wentworth, what would you like to do?
While they are sort of approaching and getting closer to this guy, Georgiana might actually hang back a bit. Perhaps she'll see Mr. Duplessis going away to the church, and perhaps she will actually follow after him. Perhaps she can put on one of the monk's disguises as well. She knows that this is quite improper. However, obviously, this is also very unusual times. If it's a dream, it doesn't matter. If it's the afterlife, then etiquette again doesn't matter. And if there is a way that they can get back to their world, then it is worth it. And no one will learn of this anyway, so it doesn't matter in the end, essentially.
So you have put on the cassock, and the monks, who you understand perfectly, even though Well, they do speak English, but they're also speaking a bit of Latin. But it doesn't matter because you understand it. They're like, okay, yes, perfect. Look, we will go and get the witch. And they're, yes, we must get the witch. And they move into the building. Do you follow them?
Yes.
Right. They actually just go to effectively the back of the church. There's, a sort of a basement-y type thing directly under the church. There aren't cells per se. It's like a warehouse or something. It's like a storage space, but they've chained Sarah up there. And they're like, excellent. And so they're grabbing her and dragging her up the stairs. What would you guys like to do?
I was going to try and intervene before that, but
well, no. What would you like to do before?
How many of them are there? How many are there?
Oh well, if both of you come, as you are clearly monks, there's just two of them.
Well, in that case, I would leap into a rage-fueled rant about how this witch killed, one of my young cousins, so I should be the one to take her up in the chains and leave me for a moment so I can give her a little bit of justice before we get her upstairs.
And I assume at this point you're trying to deploy either charm or persuade to convince me that that's a good idea.
Charm would be the one if I'm allowed, because that's much
sure. Georgiana, what are you doing while the Frenchman's ranting about his right to punish?
I think that she'll obviously just have her hands sort of in the sleeves, and her head sort of bowed so that the shadow falls over her face and no one can see that, there's a woman wearing a monk's robe. But she'll just be sort of nodding gravely to whatever Duplessis is saying.
Right, well, Duplessis, you've done it, mate. They're like, we had no idea, brother. We had no idea at all. Well, of course. And one of them hands you a sort of willow switch and says, perhaps some mortifying of the flesh so that you might, before you bring her upstairs, would be appropriate. And they pass you a willow switch and go up the stairs.
Okay. Before we sort of approach her, I want to whisper to Georgiana and say, my plan was to let her go. To maybe try and break some kind of cycle. What do you think?
I think this is a very good idea. Well, perhaps, provided she listens to us, we can let her go. She can run off. Maybe you can pretend to be knocked out on the floor. I will go out saying that the witch has knocked you out with her foul magic, and we'll give her a few minutes to get away before doing that, and then hopefully this will all blow over.
So you two are whispering this to each other in this small space window there.
Just just keep your eye on the door, and I'd say to her, I don't know, I assume she's looking at it. Sarah, is your name Sarah?
I saw you. She looks you straight in the eyes, and she
saw
goes,
her.
I've seen you before.
Yes, you have. You know how this ends then, yes?
Yes.
When would you like... Sarah, I am very confused. Things keep re-happening, and I'm trying to stop that from happening. And while I do not know if you are a good person to let free, I would like to try and do something different, which means maybe letting you go so you can find your friend who is in the woods complaining about you, and so the priest does not die. Does any of this make sense to you?
Oh, well, the priest deserves to die. I mean, he's,
Maybe that is not actually my concern. I understand that. We are trapped here, and I'm not trying to hurt you or stop you from your will, nor am I trying to stop him from his will. I'm just trying to get myself and my friends out of here, Sarah.
Well, if you can undo these, and she holds up these giant manacles that are attached to her arms.
Yeah.
And to her feet.
Did they give me a key for the manacle?
No, because you were just escorting her up the stairs.
In the manacles, yes, right, okay. Okay. Firstly,
she's a witch. You can't let her,
No, sure. I know, yeah. I want to psychology her because I just want to see if I can if she's telling the truth. Like, if I let you go, will you just leave? Will you flee?
You don't want me to do that.
What do you mean? I do not want you to do that.
Well, I assume you want to leave too.
Yes, I do.
Well,
so you can
if
help
you
us,
free
yeah?
me, I'll free you.
Okay, can I psychology that, please?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I will spend the 3 luck for that to burn that down to.
I think you can right click
55.
on it and actually say I'm spending. Can
Can you do that?
Oh no, it doesn't look. Well, I can't. Maybe you can.
Oh.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, you're going to spend 3 luck, burn 3 luck, and
Yeah. So yeah,
you're
okay,
good?
that's cool.
All right, so it's a success. You think she's being genuine?
Okay. Do I have any? I've got sleight of hand. I don't think I've got anything about.
It's
Locksmith.
Does Georgiana have any hairpins?
Georgiana has endless hairpins. One in first.
Okay. Well, she will give. Do you have any more than 1 in locksmith? Because I don't.
I do not.
Okay.
You could roll mechanical repair.
Oh, is that? I don't even know if I have that.
Is
Do I
that
have
even
that?
a skill in this?
I've got
Yeah,
10 in mechanical repair.
Yeah, you both got 10 in mechanical repair.
Okay. Do we
Okay.
get a bonus for hairpins?
It's just noisier. So your
Okay.
option is you can try and lockpick it with the hairpin, or you can try and break the manacle free.
I'm just going to try and break the manacle free. Time is the essence, I think so.
Okay.
Okay.
You can both make.
Oh,
That
shit.
went poorly.
That went.
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Other thing
And
comes
that
up
thing's
now.
come up now where you can change it.
Yeah, I can see that now. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so I should have put that to 78 and do that. Okay, yeah, cool, right. Shit, Georgiana. Okay, so I think I'm going to need to roll a 1.
Crack.
Oh, no. Okay.
All right, so you both failed quite dramatically unless you're about to spend 62 points of luck to make it work.
You could always push the roll and then we could both critically fail.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So you can push the roll, Reginald. I don't think you can't push a.
You can't push a crit.
can you?
No.
Okay, so you can push it. To be clear, if you fail, you will be making a god-awful noise. People will come to the god-awful noise.
I think I've already done that, let's be honest.
That is probably true. It's a fair
I think at
comment,
this point,
actually.
we're best just to say, we can get you outside. The rest is up to you. But I can't do these. I can't get rid of these things.
Well, you've got to get me out of the manacles. I can't do anything with the manacles on my arms.
What about if we set you up on the pyre, and they take the manacles off like you did last time, like you had your hands free, and we make sure that it doesn't get set up. You're not tied to the actual thing. How about that?
Okay. Yep. Sure.
Last time.
All right, but more monks are coming back down the stairs. There's
Yes.
been a bit
Okay.
of
Well,
noise.
just
What's going on? What's going on,
make
brother?
noise.
I thought you
I'll
were.
just make a little slap noise. You will be burning in hell, and it will be painful, and hopefully my nephew will be there to watch you. Come, monster, and upstairs.
Okay. All right. You go upstairs. The rest of you. Well, actually, hold on. All right. So it's 10:05 or 10:07 now.
Yeah.
The dotted line was 10 o'clock. So it doesn't actually matter if we pause it now because we can just roll on to a second adventure straight after the first one next session. So recognizing the commitment to ending at about 10 o'clock, are people comfortable if we end it at this point and we kick off again next session in a fortnight with you guys about to do that.
Oh, I love a cliffhanger
Yeah.
ending. It's fantastic.
That
Yes.
would be good. Thank you.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
totally fine. I'm starting to feel very tired.
Yeah.
I did a podcast at 6 a.m. this morning on the Great Dark, and now it's quite late. All right, good session. I'll end the stream first of all.